Hi guys, and welcome back to today's video. And today's video is part 2 of the Python portfolio project video that I already uploaded about 3 days back. I uploaded it on Wednesday. Today is Saturday, and this should go up this evening. So Saturday evening, 19th of August, East African time. Anyway, so yeah, let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to just run all these cells. Just come here and run all. So yeah, in case you already watched part 1 and you're coding along with me and now you want to continue, now that part 2 is here, just run all the cells. Oh yeah, and remember to re-add the data set onto this environment. I already re-added mine, so just re-add it and then run so that it can do all the cleaning we did. It will create, so the DF, our clean data set, rename it, clean DF. Then here, I just wanted to preview, like, what columns are we working with. So what we're going to cover in today's video is we're going to look into feature engineering, and then we're going to do some univariate analysis, some bivariate analysis, and some multivariate analysis. Before we start on that, let me just remember that we had already imported some libraries. So that's NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, and Matplotlib. So Matplotlib as PLT and Seaborn as SB. So you'll see me call SB and plot. I just got PLT a lot down there. So yeah, let's get into it. So what's feature engineering, what's univariate analysis, and what's bivariate and multivariate analysis? So from the word univariate, uni meaning one. So univariate analysis is just doing some investigation on one feature. So if it's rank, I'm trying to understand what's going on in this column rank, like what's the mean, what's the median, what's the distribution, among other things. If it's a categorical variable like category or country, I can probably plot a histogram to give me a visual of what's going on in terms of the various countries that are represented in this data set. So that's univariate. Bivariate now looks at two features. So like, for example, what's the relationship between the lowest monthly earnings and subscribers? So since now you're looking at two variables, that's by two variables. So it's a bivariate analysis. And lastly, it's multivariate. So we had subscribers and lowest monthly earnings. We want to understand those two features. But what if we don't just want to understand subscribers and lowest monthly earnings, but we also want to look at it from a point of the various countries, from a point of the various categories of YouTube channels? That's when multivariate comes in. So multivariate, like the word multi, is when you're dealing with more than two features. And lastly, though this is not the aim of this video, I just did a bit of it. So feature engineering, you're engineering a feature, you're probably creating a new feature, and that's what feature engineering refers to. So yeah, so let's get into the video. So we have our clean data set, and maybe before we start, what we can do is to just visualize the top of our data set. So df underscore clean dots head. Yeah, so I think most of you are already familiar with the head method because you watched the video before this. If you don't need to watch the video before this, that means your Python skill is already at some level. You're not exactly like beginner, so you understand what heads mean. But heads is just a method that allows you to preview the default. It does the first 5 rows. So yeah, this is just a quick preview of what we are working with. And yeah, let's get into some feature engineering. So yeah, I talked about comments, I believe, in my second video in the playlist for Python tutorials. And there are 2 ways you can comment out something in Python. You can either put a hashtag or put 3 columns at the start and at the end of where you want whatever you're commenting out to be finished. So this is just a list. So I have a list called Africa, another one called Europe, all the way down to Australia and Oceania. Yeah, so I've just put a list of countries and I've named them variable Africa. So these are all African countries: Tunisia, Uganda, Benin, Botswana, and now a list containing African countries in Africa, a list containing European countries, a list containing Asian countries, like, and so on and so forth. So yeah, So what do I want to do with this list? So I want to create a new column, a new feature in our data set, and I want it to be called continent. But before I do that, I actually need to define what will be in each and every one of this. So don't worry, you don't have to go creating a new one. I'm going to link this notebook down below so you can access the code, you can access the link to the data set. Yeah, and you can keep this collab for yourself for future reference if you are interested in it. So yeah, let's start. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a function that will help us fill the continent column with the appropriate continent of the country. It keeps on doing this. I don't know why. So we're going to be using functions for this particular thing. So we're going to use functions, we're going to use if conditional statements, and we're going to use lambda. In case you're not familiar with all these three concepts, I have 3 videos covering each. I have a video on Python functions, Python lambda functions, and I have a video on if conditional statements. So yeah, you can go and check them out, because for this project, I'm just going to be, the purpose of this project is to bring everything that we've learned together and a few new concepts that I've probably not created tutorials on yet. So I won't be going like breaking them down slowly. I'll just be explaining them at a very high level. If you want like a proper breakdown, please do go check out those videos. So now, what do we do next? So as I mentioned, we're going to be using if statements here. So we're going to start by defining our function. I don't like how there's so much space. So let me just do that. So our function, we're going to call our function result here, or we can call it anything. What do you want to call it? Anyway, let me just call it result. I'd already thought through this. I don't want to change it. Yeah? What's that thing called? Decision fatigue. Let me not put myself through decision fatigue. So I'm just going to copy paste the title country, so I make sure I am doing this well. And yeah, so and our result is going to have the variable country. Yeah. So what do we want this function to do? So if country in the first thing on our list was Africa, yeah, in Africa, return, yeah, else if country in what was the next thing? Europe. I think it takes so long to do the auto thing. I don't know why. Return Europe. Yeah. Else if will be in the next one was Asia. Return Asia. Else if who is our next one? North America. North America. Return. Let me just write it again. North America. So we need to make it a string, because this is what will appear in the new column we create. And then after North America, L if North America, return South America, and put it in quotes. So then again, if you're not familiar with how conditional statements work, please go check it out. But now what's going to happen is you could still write else if, a country equals to Australia and Oceania. But now, since we've covered all the category, only one category is remaining. So you could just do else. Because now anyone else who's not mentioned will be given the label Australia and Oceania. Yeah? So yeah, you could either do if again, or you could just close it like that. And yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Else return. Yeah. So yeah, and that's our function. So our function called result is going to be checking what country are you from. If you're from an African country, Kenya, it will label you Africa. But now after we've created this function that is connecting appropriate country to the relevant appropriate continent, the next thing we need to do is to actually apply this this function on our data frame. So what we're going to do is our data frame is equals to data frame clean, yeah. And what we want this data frame clean to do is we want to have a new column, yeah. And this column we're going to call it continent, yeah. So we're going to call it continent, yeah. And what we want to do is df our data set, yeah, dot country, because I already have, I still have it pasted. Yeah, because country is what we're interested in, and we want to apply our function on it. So we're going to use lambda. In case you're not familiar with lambda, I'm not going to really be explaining, I'm not going to go into the depths of what is happening here. We'll just explain it very quickly at a high level. But yeah, so lambda x, yeah. And what we want to do is we want the result to be applied on our x. So result x, yeah. And x is standing in for country. Is it lambda x? Yes, because now, okay, yeah. So now what's going to happen is it's going to check the country. And if the country is within Africa, it will put Africa. If the country is in Europe, it will put Europe. So it's our X is country. So yeah, let's run that. I hope I'm loud enough. Yeah. So it's there. Our function has done what it needs to do. So we can just confirm that. So if we preview our data set again, as you can see, we have continent, Asia, North America, North America, Asia. So let's come here and see India, which is in Asia, North America, United States, then India again. So our function, our lambda, did what it needed to do. So yeah, so that's it for some feature engineering. I just wanted a new column because that's something I also want to explore. And now the next thing we can do is to just go into our univariate analysis. So we have here something called base cards. Oh no, let me start with the actual visual and then I can explain what's up. So here what do we want to do? What categories have the most frequent activity? Yeah. So we want to work with categories. So I had brought this down here. So control copy, we have category. Yeah? So what we want to do is, what we're naming categories, we want to take our data set. So when we take our data set, we want to access the categorical column in our data set. And what we want to do is we want to do a value count. Yeah. So a value count is just basically that value count. So it will take category, and let's say there's a category called I don't know, sports, yeah, and it will count how many people fall in the category for sports. So yeah, it had auto thing it for me, and then me I got rid of it. So let's do value anyway, I wait for it, will be here till tomorrow. Dot index. So that's what's happening here. Now after it does that value count, now what we want to do is we are calling the Cbon, yeah, and remember we aliased it SB And what we want from Seaborn is account plot. There you go. So we want account plot. So you see, it even tells you what you need to put in your account plot. I was just so quick to click on it, but we'll see it again. So what's our data? The data we are working with is df underscore clean. Then what's in our y-axis? Our y-axis has category, yeah. And then we also need to specify the color we want, and we decided on the base color. So I'm going to explain what that base color is, but it will be easier for me to explain once it's what is it called? Once the visual is out. So here we are doing order is equals to category. So let's run this. And there you go. So as you can see, the most popular type of YouTube channel is entertainment, followed by music, people and blogs, gaming. The least interesting, the least popular in this data set is travel and events. Interesting. Pets and animals are even more interesting than travel. Okay, I'm just being biased because me, I like watching travel vlogs. And maybe they fall under lifestyle. Yeah. So yeah, so first of all, let me explain this palette. So this just helps you, like there's a way you can access it. Just go and Google. Let's see what color is palette 2. Green. So yeah, so you can Google how to access and just see which colors correspond to what number, and you can play around with it. Like whatever color you want, you go with it. I choose this shade of blue. But yeah, so yeah, and that's basically it. This is if someone had asked you a question like, oh, remember our data set was so I'd already opened the link, but yeah, so you can come here at the top of the data set. Our research objective was understand the YouTube landscape, about the data set, Google YouTube statistics, sourced from Kaggle. So as you can see, I had already opened it, but let me just open it again. So if you come here, you can download the data set. So it's global YouTube statistics for 2023. You can also go through the description, but it's basically details on top creators. So this data set is only limited to top creators. So it just tells you from our top creators, let me go down. From our top creators, majority of them are in entertainment. So if you're planning to get into content creation, two things for you. You can get into entertaining because it seems like entertaining works. Like, why are many people doing it? But then again, you can decide to get into one of these ones because it's not quote unquote oversaturated. So you have an opportunity to, stand out compared to a place which has more. So yeah, that's just like something that for me came to my mind when I saw this data set. So yeah, so the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to reuse this code and we're going to maintain this color here. Yeah, so here I just pasted this list of columns here so that it's easier for me to access what I need to access. So here we want to know what countries have the highest amount of YouTube activities. So now we have to, anywhere where category is, we have to replace it with country. Dataset remains because we are using the same dataset all through this analysis. I really can't wait to start creating, what are they called? SQL tutorials, work with 2 different data sets, show you guys how joins work among other SQL concepts. By the way, that's the next thing. Like after this project, I thought of doing like 1 or 2 projects, but I just decided to do one. So once this project is done, I'm going to create a bunch of SQL tutorials. And then after creating a bunch of SQL tutorials, we're going to do now some projects in SQL. SQL will probably do many more. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Stacy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a data analyst, and in my current job, I mostly use SQL. And that's why I will create more projects in SQL because it's something I use every other day. And I'm really excited about that. Like I can't wait to start creating like SQL tutorial for you people and a bunch of projects both in SQL, Python, combining SQL and Power BI, combining Python and Power BI, etc. So yeah, notice how this is so messy. Like How do you even get information from this? I can barely tell. Is United States first? Okay, United States is first, but you see, India not available. It's very messy, and it's because there's a very long list of countries in this data set of ours. So what you could do here is you could just limit. So it could be like head 20. So I think by now you guys are familiar with how head works. So this is just going to limit us to the top 20 countries. And there you go. So among the top YouTubers, a majority of them come from the US, followed by India, and then Germany, UAE, Ukraine are in the top 20, yes, but they don't have as many top YouTubers compared to the US, India. Not available, like this is the people who don't provide their location in Brazil. My African people, where are we? But anyway, yeah, so yeah, that's it for that. So now the next thing we can do is we can look at continent, yeah. So we can look at distribution of content creation by continent, yeah. I think North America will be first and Africa will be last. I think, yeah, from what we've seen, Africa is of course going to be last. And you see how the US dominates here. Even India, okay, not available, won't fall anywhere. So even India and Brazil combined still doesn't reach the US. So continent. So anywhere where this country replaces with continent. And then I guess another thing I'm just here to tell you is code is code. Code will get improvements, but will never change. So yeah, master your technical skills, yes, but your soft skills is what will, take you a step higher, make you unique. Because after you see the insights you see, how do you relate it to the business? How does the insight how will the insight help various stakeholders to make decisions, come up with strategies to ensure success of their business? That's what will take you to another level. So work on your analytical thinking, your logical thinking, work on your business acumen, your ability to work with stakeholders, because that's what will do it for you. Like, as you can see, code is code. I'm just doing a lot of copy pasting. Yeah. So yeah, North America is the highest, followed by Asia, Europe, then Africa. So the next thing we're going to get into is like measures of central tendency. Yeah. And we're going to use highest yearly earnings. Yeah. And we're going to calculate the mean. And then we're going to calculate the median. Median. And finally, we're going to calculate the mode. So I'm not going to get into the statistics of things. Like, I'm just going to show you how you can use Python to calculate the measures of central tendency. If you're interested in seeing me do like more videos to explain like the statistics behind data science and data analytics, what level of statistics do I need to become a data analyst? Do I need to become a data scientist? Please let me know in the comment down below, but I'll probably still make them, even if you people don't put anything in the comments, but they'll be like last, yeah? So how do you do this? So we need to do our data frame is called df clean. And we want to access highest yearly. And then an inbuilt function dot mean. And there you go. You've calculated your mean. So we're going to do the same. So I'm just going to copy paste this. Again, code is just code, Like, learn how to code, yes, but don't leave your soft skills behind. Yeah, you've had. So median, then mode. So regardless of the tool you're using, whether you're using SQL, Python, Power BI, Tableau, whatnot, Google is your friend. Like, you could have, if you need to, someone wants you to track or give them what's the mean age of the clients we serve for this product, and and your tool is Power BI, your tool is Excel, just Google how to do it. There you go with calculation that. So next we want to do is we want to print all this. So print echo brackets there. Oh no, we can just do mean equals to. So we are concatenating, and because you're concatenating, you have to also change the results. So that's mean underscore y into a string, because you can't concatenate two elements that are not of the same data type. So you have to concatenate. If you're not familiar with various Python data types, I have a video on basic Python data types. So yeah, feel free to go check it out, go learn something new. If you like that video, let me know. And also let me know what kind of content, what other tutorials would you like me to create for you guys. So there you go. So the mean, the median, and the mode. So I'd mentioned I'm not going to go into, oh, you see, so median, I didn't change it because I'm like, why are they all the same? Though it's possible, statistically it is possible, depending on the distribution of the data, it's possible for all of them to be the same, but there you go. So now imagine if you wanted the mean and median for all the numerical columns, yeah? And here they are. You'd have to type this 1, 2, 3 plus, is it plus 6, 7 times? It just doesn't make sense, you know. So this is why we're going to use loops. Again, in case you're not familiar with loops, I have a tutorial explaining how loops, how for loops work, why loops work. So here we're just going to, you know, put all these concepts together, actually see how learning all these Python concepts are going to enable you manipulate data. But if you want to really understand the nitty-gritty of how loops work, whether it's for loops or while loops, go check out the video, guys. So yeah, so here we have the columns that you're interested in: rank, subscribers, video views, all the way to highest yearly income. And what we can do is we can create a for loop. What's the difference between a for loop and a while loop? Go check out the video. So this column here is a placeholder, and this columns here is actually this list called columns that we created, yeah? And this could be anything. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be G, you know, it could be COL, it could be anything. So for column in column, so remember this is a placeholder. Now it's holding the place of rank. So what's them? Mean of rank, median of rank, mode of rank. When it finishes, it loops to the next one. So looping is just iterating. So subscribers, what is the mean, median, mode, like that, till it reaches the end. So let's run this. So you see how learning these concepts is very important, because imagine you'd have to write this one, copy paste another one, and then in case, let's say you find out like you made a mistake in the calculation, or how you guys calculate a certain metric has changed, so you have to go back to all those 11 plus chunks of code to correct it. But if you're just looping through it, you just correct it in one place. And that's another rule in coding. If you're repeating something too many times, iko shida, there's a problem. Yeah, you could probably make it better, make it more efficient. And by the way, to beginners out there, no pressure. Me, I remember when I just started learning, this was me copy pasting chunks of code 10 times, 11 times. And I actually used to put that in my portfolio projects for recruiters. But somehow here I am working as a data analyst and learning. So I guess that's why that's why I'm here. I'm like, I want to share my knowledge and try and explain these things in the most, like, you know, explain them simply, you know, and give you guys this project. You know, I really struggled getting like to like follow along projects. So here I am giving this to you people so that you guys can have projects to follow along. And once you follow along, get a data set from Kaggle, from Zindi Africa, among other places. You could get a data set and try and, you know, do this manipulation, see what you find out in the data. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's it for this one. And yeah, the only thing is this one, I rounded it off to 2. And here I didn't include round, or else this is very similar to this one. Yeah. So as you can see, what it does is it will print the column, which is rank, mean is, and then the mean rounded off to 2 decimal places. So yeah, let's go to the next thing. So the next thing we're going to do is to look at the distribution of subscribers, the column subscribers, uploads, yearly earnings. Then we're going to look at subscribers again. And when we start, it will make so much sense what I mean by, let's look at subscribers again. So yeah, so now we're going to use Seaborn again for this one. So it's Seaborn, and we want to call something called distribution. I want it to auto appear. So let me do it slowly. So there are two, yeah. I want the second one, the one with the T, dist plot, yeah. And you saw the corner, yeah. You can just rewind and pause and see. It tells you like what you need to put inside, yeah. So we have our data, and we need to specify the column. So for this one, we are interested in subscribers. Okay, so there you go. So you have your distribution of subscribers, like all these content creators that we have in our list. What's the distribution of the subscribers? So we can see majority of the people here don't have as many subscribers. Like as the subscribers increase, the fewer the number of people. But then again, I'm not going to go into the statistics of it. But this is skewed. It's definitely not a normal distribution. I'm not going to go into the statistics of it, but as a data analyst, once you see this, what does this mean? What is the insight here? What are you learning about like the market you serve, but I'm not going to get into the statistics of it. So now let's go to the next one. So what I'm going to do for this specific one, I'm going to create a function, yeah. And again, just like the example of loops, functions do make your life easier in so many ways, and you're going to see. So we're going to create a function, and we're going to call it Univariate for visualization, yeah. And this function is going to have 3 parameters. The first one is going to be our data frame, yeah. And then we're going to have the column, and it has to be in this order. Again, sorry guys. If you're not familiar with how functions work, go check out my video on the tutorial I did for, what is it called, for Python functions. So we're going to call Seaborn again. And we want, and remember that we put in the data, like the column. So we're just going to be like data frame, data frame, and the column. So when you call the function and you put the name of your data frame and you put the name of the column, it will put it here. And then like in their respectful places. I don't know why my throat is so dry. I have some water here. Okay. Yeah, so I guess the other thing we can also do that we just have a bit more info about our data is we can get a bit more information about like our values, yeah, because when you just let's get a bit more information about our values. So the value, we're going to whatever the data frame you put, yeah. I'm using the column again. So what we want to do, we want to do a value count, yeah, and we want to pick, let's say the top 10, list the top 10. So yeah, so let's create the code to do that. So value counts. By now you should be familiar with value counts. This is not the first time I am using it. We've used it. We used it in the previous example. So ascending. What do we want to print? top 10 values So for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to subscribe. So there's some things that I'm using in this tutorial that I've already created to some methods I'm using in this project that I've already created tutorials on. Some I'm yet to, but I will with time. So yeah, subscribe. I was about to say follow. Subscribe, like, yeah, subscribe, stay in the journey with me. But anytime I upload something, you'll be on the loop. And yeah, like and comment. Tell me, like, what is it you'd like to learn? So when I was coming up with this project, I was like, ooh, I would really like to like do this same visualization on Power BI or Tableau. I haven't decided which one, so expect that. Though that's not something I'm going to do like immediately after this, simply because I already have a bunch of content planned out between like after this. So I'll probably do that, and then after we are not done, after I'm kind of done with that subset of SQL, I'm going to now use this exact data set to create a dashboard either on Power BI or Tableau. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Note it's not coming anytime soon. I have a bunch of content lined up for probably the next month. So it will be after that batch is out. So hence why I think you should subscribe, or you could keep coming to my channel and check if I've already uploaded that, if it's something you're interested in. So yeah, okay. Oh, so before, okay, let me finish writing. So the data frame we're working with is df clean, and the column we're interested in is, it was uploads, yeah? I hope I got the spelling as it is on our data frame. So I'm just going to comment this out first, and I'm going to run this. So what is happening is we've just created the function. So nothing will happen until you call your function, and that's what this line of code is doing. This line of code is calling our function. And voila, same exact visual, but for uploads. So why functions make your life easier is now, if I want to do the same, but for yearly earnings, I don't need to like write that whole line of code again. Though yes, I know it was short. All I have to do is just copy paste yearly earnings. We're still using the same data frame, so df clean stays. And yeah, highest yearly earnings, yeah, and it's the same trend. Like the more the income, the fewer the people who are making that level of income. Yeah, so let's copy this again, and this time we are going to input subscribers. So you've noticed I'm putting I'm pasting this all over the place, so it's just easier for me. And why I like copy pasting is because, let me tell you something. You could get an error, and your error is just because you spelled subscribe and maybe you forgot the last S or the first S. So to avoid such things, I just copy paste. Yeah, it's safer. Yeah, and that's it for univariate analysis. Now let's go into bivariate analysis. We've seen the distribution of our subscribers, uploads, yearly earnings. Now let's go and see how do these two relate with each other. And the first thing we're going to look at is the relationship between uploads and subscribers. So for this one, we're going to use matplotlib. Remember, we earlier state PLT. Yeah. So plot.kata. And the first thing is your data, and your data is df clean, and then x is equals to, we'll put our x, and y is equals to, we'll put our y. So let me remove this since we already have them in quotes. And then after that, we're going to do plot dot x. How to bring, but it's taking so long. X label, and we're going to put our X label, then plot.y label, and I'm almost done. Okay, so we are doing uploads. We're doing uploads in our x-axis, and we want uploads against subscribers. So subscribers are in our y-axis. And can you imagine that's it? That is it. So that's the relationship between uploads and subscribers. So these people who, so the more the uploads, it's easy to have few uploads when they're getting more subscribers. But this actually makes sense because this data set is of like top YouTubers, like top YouTubers, and the measure is number of subscribers. So of course, like I've been doing a lot of research about like what's going on in YouTube, yeah. And there's this one lady who was like 70% of the income she made like in 2022 came from 2021. So yeah, even if this person is not uploading as much, but they still have content from like previous years, that's their passive income still getting, okay, passive, whatever, passiveness. Let's look at subscribers as a currency. So that's their passive income still making for them money, and our money here is subscribers. So yeah, this makes sense to me. And yeah, there's no like direct relationship that, oh, the more you upload, the more subscribers you get. Like it's a very weak one. Like the more they upload, yeah. Plus this okay. You see, another part of being a data analyst, yeah, it's not just about cleaning the data, doing your visuals. You really have to think through it. Yeah, you have to really think through it because yes, okay, after you see this, how does that help the business? You know, you'll spend a good number of time. That's why I'm saying your soft skill, like your business acumen, problem solving skills, analytical thinking, it comes through. Like you could say the easiest part is creating these visuals. Now telling a story with them, whether it's a story in the form of a report, and a report that will probably be acted on in terms of policy change, strategy change, product change, you know, or a dashboard. Is your dashboard telling a story, or you're just putting visuals, pop, 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 pop? It needs to tell a story. So yeah, so let's look at the relationship between uploads and earnings. Then we look at subscribers and earnings. So uploads is already there. We want yearly earnings, so yearly highest earnings. It's subs and yearly earnings, so we're going to do this. Oops, I interchanged them, but it's okay. Oh, but that's okay. Subs and yearly earnings. Then we'll do. So yeah, you can now this one. This relationship is makes a bit more sense. It's like the higher the yearly earnings that you can, but it's not a very strong one. The higher the yearly earnings, there's a way. Like you see these people here, higher yearly earning, more subscribers. That's what that means. Yeah, so there is some form of relationship. So this one that I'd skipped, so it's upload versus yearly earnings. So that means we're getting rid of subscribers. So uploads, again, the relationship is a bit all over the place. Like you could say, no matter how much you upload, your earnings are not affected. Even this, oh no, it's just that most people are here. Most people have few uploads and their earnings. Yeah, the people with fewer uploads, their earnings go to up. They're just here, sorry. And a few of them actually have a lot. And probably these are people who already like they're benefiting from, passive income. And then there are these people who also are uploading more, but they're still stagnant. The relationship is not very, very strong. But there's a better way. Like you could actually put this into a number between 0 and 1. Okay, it can be negative or positive, and it will tell you. So the closer it is to -1 or the closer it is to 1 as a whole number, it shows you if there's a strong relationship or not. Like you can actually, there's a better statistical measure for this one. So it will tell you this one is like 0.05, which means the relationship is not very strong. Yeah. But then again, what they said, I'm not getting into the statistics of it. So yeah, so we have two more things we're going to do under bivariate, then we go into multivariate, and yeah, we call it a video. So checking how the variables are correlated using a correlation matrix. So we're just going to call this matrix, yeah. And the matrix, it's just our data frame, our data, then dot. So this is, and then we print it. So then again, I'm not going to get into the statistics of it, but this just shows you rank and rank, of course, have a strong correlation. Rank and subscribers, negative correlation. So let me look like here what we are doing is subscribers and yearly earnings. So let's look for subscribers, and then we look for yearly earnings. You see, it's 0.3. Like there's some relationship, but it's not very strong. And this is what I was talking about. So the actual correlation figure, like this one, has a very strong. So subscribers and video views. Okay, so the more subscribers you have, the more subscribers you have, the more video views you're likely to get. That's what that's telling us. So yeah, so people who like colors are more visual, more like are more visual, like visualizations like help you what is it called, get the hang of what's going on very quick without needing to really think through it and start looking always the higher one. Like we just let's visualize that what we have above the correlation using a heat map. Yeah, so I feel like just copy pasting this, like I just Google where it is and then I copy paste. So which anyway, but it's okay. So we want to plot. So we're using matplotlib subplot. So we're going to specify the size of the figure, the size of the visualization. I want it to be 15 by 10. Yeah. So from Sequon, we're going to access a heat map. And then you see, it shows you what you're supposed to put in it. So our data is df linear. We had already done this above, yeah. Remember it told us what we need to do. And you can always Google, by the way. Unaccepted one. Okay, let me just figure out what's going on with this error. So it's subplots. That's what I'm missing. So the good thing is it will always tell you like it was telling me unacceptable, something about fig size. So the error was next to fig size and I wrote plot instead of plots. And yeah, there, yeah, you can see like very strong correlation, white, like 100% correlation. So the colors would lead you to where you need to go. Like if you see, like, I guess the darker the purple, the more negative the correlation. So see what I mean? Like here, you'd have to look like really be keen, but here the colors lead you. Like when you see a certain color, you know, oh, okay, this is average correlation, slightly below average, positive correlation, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so you can Google, look for a YouTube video, Google how to read heat maps in case you're not familiar with how to read heat maps. And that's it for bivariate analysis. Let's go to multivariate analysis. And for multivariate analysis, I'm going to do one video. So what I'm going to do later on, and not now, because as I said, now I'm transitioning to creating a few tutorials in SQL, then creating a bunch of projects in SQL, Python, projects that use SQL and Python together, SQL alone, Python together. So, and eventually I will also do like a specialized video on what is multivariate analysis, various ways of multivariate analysis, why is multivariate analysis important, the importance of univariate, and do the same for bivariate. So remember what I told you about commenting something out. Yeah, I'm just commenting this out because I want the code. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to link this notebook down below, and you can borrow this code for whatever you need to do. So what this visualization is doing here, remember we're calling it we're using a mix of Seaborn and Matplotlib here, but what I just want to look at the relationship between subscribers and yearly earnings, but per continent. Because you see, what did it tell us here? Subscribers and yearly earnings. Is it this one? Yes. So this is what it's told us. But is it the same across all continents? Is this the same across all countries? So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. So this one, you could say it's a bit more advanced here, a bit more complex. And I don't know about you people, but for me, the nature of my job is this small, I don't call them small, this singular complexity. It's not as straightforward as just, oh, these two relationships. I want to see these two relationships for a specific sector, for a specific product type, so that's why I'm like, you see why I'm telling you I'd want to create a dedicated series tutorial to just talk about multivariate analysis, univariate analysis, and bivariate analysis. But as you can see, so you see that data was telling us this is a relationship between highest yearly earnings and subscribers, yeah, but it's not the case for Africa. And for Europe, again, not very many data points. For Asia, surprisingly, the relationship is kind of clearly there. So it's like the more the subscribers, the more the yearly earnings. You can kind of see it in North America, but yeah, not very. And I won't be shocked. I'm not shocked by this because they have the highest number of like top YouTubers. So even if they post for a while and they're not growing their subscribers, they would still, a good number of them would still be making like bank. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for staying to the end. And I don't know, I'll never get tired of this. Like me, I'm shocked by how much I'm enjoying these videos. Like I remember when I was first learning, like whether it's Python or SQL, it could be a bit frustrating and I'd spend hours on projects. So like I started working on this project on Tuesday night. So the data cleaning bit, yeah. And then in the morning, I did some brushing up. Then now I started creating the tutorial and I decided to do the data cleaning first. So I started doing research on the data. I knew the questions I want to answer, but how exactly I'm going to answer them, which visuals I want to use, which libraries I want to use. I started working on that today morning and I just enjoyed it. Like, oh, so this is how this works. And yeah, I really hope you get value in this thing that I'm enjoying. And yeah, if you liked this, if you enjoyed this, like, put a comment down below. Tell me what you liked about it. What other types of projects do you want to see? Though, just note that the next bunch of projects is going to be around SQL first before anything else. And yeah, so yeah, put your comments, like, subscribe, let's grow this family. And yeah, get notified every time I create something new. Or else that's it from me, you guys. And yeah, thanks so much for being here. I'd one of these days, like when you guys are enough, I'd really want to have like a one-on-one. Like now I get why YouTubers have like events and have like lives, because now it's a convo. Like we visualize this data. I give you my hypothesis, you give me your hypothesis about it. I think that would be something fun. But anyway, bye guys, and thank you for getting to this part of the video. See you in the next one, which will be tomorrow, and which will be SQL. Bye bye.